What's going on, guys? I am Matthias and welcome to Reading Your Comments because it's Sunday and I am reading your comments. Today I'm reading your comments all about stories that you're trying to hide from your parents. Those of you that watch videos with your parents, if you submitted a story for this, you might want to turn this video off. Otherwise, I'm gonna read them right now and hope that you don't get in trouble for it. Also, question of the day for a future episode is, when was the last time you lost your voice? And if it's a funny story, tell it down below. Me and a close friend of mine were at a hotel in Greece with a pool. My friend said she needed the bathroom, but then my dad said we were going to the pool. She didn't want to be left behind, so she came. We were having fun like you do, and suddenly my friend went red. She tugged on my arm and said, "I think I peed myself." So I desperately swam away from her, and we both got out of the pool. Oh, she peed in the pool. Now, the woman in charge of the pool had something called adult time, where children were kicked out of the pool and had to stay quiet for an hour or so. The adults could swim around. Right as me and my friend got out after she peed, the woman called adult time. My dad jumped in right where my friend was. He'll never know. So this was last summer on vacation. Me, my friend, and my little sister were alone on the 24th floor of this condo, and we're just chucking everything that was partially edible, including dollar bills, off the balcony to appease the swarm of seagulls. To make a long story short, we threw almost all of our snacks off, and the security came and chewed out my sister for feeding the birds while me and my friends hid in the kitchen. Okay, so when they let me go over to my friend's house, I had this crazy idea we'd go surprise my boyfriend, so I dressed in my Jeff the Killer costume and went over to his house. He saw me and started to punch me in the face. He didn't know it was me, so I was like, "Anthony, what the hell? My nose is broken!" But at least I scared him. I remember I was playing tag with my step-siblings and I ran past some shelves and a glass that was sitting on the shelf fell and broke. We were all really nervous and didn't know what to do because it was my dad's glass and he'd got it from a wedding that had his initials carved in it. So we thought he'd be really mad. Then we took a hot glue gun and filled in the gaps that broke and put it on the very far back of the shelf, hoping no one would notice. I still don't know if anyone ever found out. Once I was walking out of the classroom, and I guess I didn't realize that my crush was coming in anyways. We kind of sort of kissed, or not, it was more of like a nose-to-nose awkwardness. I hope my dad doesn't see this. I got mad once and punched one of my friends in the face by accident. How do you do that by accident? Because she was beside me and I didn't know, so she got a bruise and we had to lie. Instead of telling her mom I punched her, she said she got hit in the face by a locker swinging open. We were both afraid since your mom works at a prison. Oh, that's why you didn't tell her. You were afraid you were gonna go to jail. So we were jumping on my parents' bed and broke a spring. LOL, good thing we moved so we will never find out. Yay, first reading your comments. I love your videos, by the way. You're one of the best YouTubers. Love you in a friendly way. One day I was in my house, the most usual day. Then all of a sudden my sister runs out and smacks me, so I run into my room and I got so mad I punched a hole in the door. I detached the door and got a spare door. I like to punch dogs now. Doors, sorry. I was on my skateboard in the house. I broke a door. My parents still don't know, I think. Then later, the house burnt down, so yeah. One thing that me and my sister are trying to hide from our parents is the fact that I mean to her. She said she won't tell on me because she wants presents from Santa. Telling on me is mean. I would tell her that I really should get the punishments, but who really wants to get a big butt hitting by a strong non-celebrity dad on the entire face of this earth? Please notice me. I draw a lot. Like, a lot. And I was drawing one of my characters, Cole, and I drew him really sexy. I drew a lot of them, and I only showed one. I showed my mom the picture. She just gave me a really weird look and laughed. I'm never showing her the other pictures. One time at primary school, me and my friends used to hang out on top of the tree. Not in a tree house, just in a tree. And my first time on the tree, I really needed to pee, so my friends told me to stand on the ledge of the tree and have a pee. So being the stupid kid I am, I did it. And then I realized I pissed on my best friend. What? What is life? Hi Matthias. So me and my cousin were home alone at night and our parents were out with family and it was like 12 a.m. when we went outside. We weren't supposed to and started ding dong ditching. Well, we failed and one old lady got us. The old lady hasn't gotten the chance to tell on us. I hope she never does. It was the third day of high school and we had just got home to my house. I was hanging out with my guy friends and I went to change. Little did I realize I had put everything in the laundry. The worst part was my sister took my clothes and she said she would put them in the wash as well. I had to make a dash for my clothes and it was halfway across the house. I only had underclothes on. I fell majestically down the stairs in front of my friends. Never gonna live that down. A secret I kept from my parents is one time when I was like 5 is when my mom used to buy those push popsicles with the wrapper on, and when they were gone I would eat like 5 at a time and then I put the wrappers under the pillows. They always got mad when they found them and they will never know who did it. So I was with a friend. Let's call him Luke. He was in charge of the bus schedule to get home. He planned to go on the last bus at 8, but it turns out the bus arrived at 8, so he missed the bus and had to walk home 2 hours at 8:30 at night. Let's see. I remember I went to a friend's house for a birthday party. I was bored, so I asked my friend's mom if I could download Undertale on their computer. So I downloaded it and all that stuff, and for some reason it said it was missing a certain file, so I downloaded that one missing file. After I downloaded it, it started doing weird things. I got scared and I didn't know what to do, so I shut off the computer. Next day, my friend calls me and says that because of me, she got grounded. Needless to say, I accidentally downloaded a virus to the computer. My parents never knew it was me, so did my friend's mom. Sorry. One day we cursed when parents weren't home. Parents came in and I was like, "Tell and you're dead." They were like, "What?" I'm like, "Nothing. Matthias, tell and you'll be dead." You know, me and your parents have a pretty close relationship. I might just tell on you, man. My friend's mom was having a date. My friend didn't want her mom to go out with that guy, so we tried to make them hate each other. So we put red hot chili peppers, hoping he would run away, but he loves hot foods. Let's just say her mom had her date ruined. She still blamed it on the waiter though. When I was about 7, me and my friends were at my house and went upstairs to my room to play Truth or Dare, and my brother, being the dummy that he is, ran and kicked his foot. Went through the wall! I was really panicking, I didn't know what to do, so I went silent and ran to my thinking corner. I was going to tell them about it because my dad is a repairman, but I was also a dummy then, and I kicked the wall again. Well, never do that again. My foot got stuck in the wall. My friends and I still hide the hole. We covered the hole with my bench. I'm now 11. They never found out. My foot will never forgive me. Jake, if you're reading this, you still owe me a donut. What? I'm hiding from my parents that I broke my sister's iPad. Okay, here's the story. My brother was throwing his plushie at me, so I was trying to dodge it. And then I went head first into the couch, and then when I pulled my head up, I realized I broke my sister's iPad, and my brother got me. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Whoops. Okay, so me and my friend were having a sleepover at her house. We were getting into PJs when her 5-year-old brother comes in running. Luckily, Rachel was all dressed, but I was practically butt naked, so she quickly got me a blanket to cover me while I'm there trying to hide myself. I only had underwear on and I'm 12. She covers me while I quickly try to put my nightgown on. Just as I got it on, her brother, who is wondering why I'm hiding, pulls the blanket off just in time to see my underwear. It was really awkward. My grades, I was there trying to hide my grades from my parents. So when me and my best friend Haley were 8, we wanted to play outside. Now I have a fairly large backyard, but it has this really big tree. We both broke off a branch and it started swinging them like madman. We wouldn't stop breaking up the branches. Then we got tired and went inside. My mom looked outside and said, "What did you do to my tree?" I didn't want to get in trouble, so I said, "It was the wind." Before she could check out the weather, I said, "The weather lies, Mama." So I was at my friend's sleepover and the parents were out to get pizza. We changed into our pajamas. I went into my friend's room and there was no lock. So I turn around because I hear a noise. It was my friend's 8-year-old male cousin. I yell at him and all the others came running. All I was wearing was a pair of pants. I'll never live that one down. I was with my sister and cousins at my grandparents' house 7 years ago. We were using a magnifying glass to roast ants. Hey, we had a cruel mind back then. One of my cousins got the brilliant idea to roast leaves, dry leaves, and the leaves caught on fire, but luckily we were near a pool and pushed them in. Something I'm trying to hide from my parents is that when it was my brother's birthday, me and my brother and our friends decided to bike at night. We wanted to bike to my bro's friend's house. We went back and decided to swap bikes. I got the hard to control one. I nearly had to walk home. After we were done, my parents caught us biking at night without permission. Oh, by the way, I didn't mean to say hide from my parents. I meant to say remind my parents about. So you don't want to remind your parents about the story because they already found out. Me and my friend were just walking around the park and we saw these two guys throwing bags of powder at each other. We thought it was fun, so we ran up to them and asked if we could join in. The guys stuffed my jacket with the bags and made me run, which also included a black cell phone and a ball. Me and my friend ran to the nearby community center after realizing it was drugs and placed it in front of the comm center door and ran home. I will never tell my parents this story, ever. Wait, how did you know it was drugs? Where are you hanging out? Don't hang out in alleys, kids. What? Me and my BFF are trying to hide the fact that I farted so hard in class I pooped my expensive jeans. Now every time she tells me to wear them, I have to deal with some dry poop and sitting down to hide the stain. Why don't you wash them? What? My friend and I know a guy who sells fireworks, so for about the last 8 months in a plastic bin filled with fireworks sealed with duct tape, and we can't wait to have that party this spring break. Alright guys, be safe, okay? When my brother Andrew and I were about 6 and 5, we had a little sister, a baby. While she was taking a nap, we decided to get into the baby powder. Things went way downhill from there. Our mom walked in with a towel. Long story short, we could never see things in this world correctly ever again. Okay, admit it. I ate the last cookie. So when I was at school, I was sitting next to my friend when he leaned over and said, I just peed. I didn't say anything and I just stayed sitting and scooched. A little farther away, he put his hand up to go to the toilet and walked a tiny step each time, and many people looked at him. When he came back, he made me swear to never tell anyone. Well, here I am telling everyone. Sorry, Ben. When I was about 4 years old, my sister and now brother got married. Sadly, I had a cold. I sneezed and snot was all over my arm. I didn't know what to do, so I hugged my sister, rubbing it all over her dress, and said, "Good luck, sis." A story that me and my siblings hide is that about a year ago, me and my sister and brother and my stepbrother were running around the house after playing some sort of game, and then the police came and we got a $200 ticket, and we did a lot of chores to pay it off, and it took almost a year. We paid it off 2 weeks ago. Yeah, my mom still doesn't know. I'm 13. Wait, how'd you get a ticket? Like a noise violation or something? I was hiding my channel. My sister told them about it though. Well, me and my friend were drinking coffee on my brand new couch. Some of my coffee got stuck in my throat. I coughed it up all over my new cushions. I panicked and flipped it over. My parents haven't found out yet, but when they sat on it, my dad questioned why it's warm. I stared at my dad and slowly looked back at my iPad. Ugh. Guys, thank you so much for submitting all of these amazing stories. If you want to submit one for a future episode, answer the question of the day, which is, when was the last time you lost your voice? And tell me a funny story. If you don't know one, just make one up. Just be clever. See you in the next episode. High five.